Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be diving into something super exciting that could potentially change the game for you on Amazon KDP. I'm talking about a KDP niche that you probably haven't heard about yet, but here's where it gets exciting. There's a seller making over $85,000 per month from just one book in this niche. Sounds pretty crazy, right? Well, the reality is, it's happening, and this is exactly what makes KDP so powerful. Now, if this is your first time here, my name is Jeff, and this channel is all about becoming self-sufficient when it comes to making money online. So if this sounds interesting to you, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, let's get right to it. Now, unlike other online businesses that constantly require your attention, with Amazon KDP, your books are out there earning money for you while you live your life. Whether you're working on other projects, spending time with family, or even sleeping, your books can still generate income. And you don't have to worry about the handling, the printing, the shipping, or even the customer service. Amazon's going to take care of all of that for you. Your job and your only job is to create the books. Amazon does the rest. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the how to draw books for kids niche that has huge potential, and I'll explain why it's so lucrative and how you can start seeing results for yourself. Now, here's why this niche is a goldmine. First of all, it's educational, which makes it an easy sell because this type of activity book helps with fine motor skills, creativity, and focus. Secondly, the market demand is always consistent because there's always a need for new drawing books for kids, whether it's simple shapes, animals, or more niche topics like cartoon characters or holiday themed drawings. Now, if we go on Amazon and we make a search for how to draw books for kids, well, we're going to be able to see all of these books here that are doing well. And I'm actually going to show you what to look for here to show you how they're performing and whether or not it's a book you want to try to replicate if you are going to make a book for this niche. Now, the first thing that we see is going to be right here, total results. We see 3,392. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this purple box right here, this is called Titan's Quick View. It's a free extension that you can use that helps you with your KDP research. So feel free to download it and install it. If you go to the Chrome web store, just make a search for self-publishing Titans. You're going to find these two right here. I have both of them installed, but this is the one I'm talking about, Titan's Quick View. This is the one that helps me with my niche research. It gives you this purple bar right here with all of this useful information. And then it also gives you this box right here that will give you some quick view details and data on the book, which is very helpful instead of actually going to each listing and looking at these all manually. Now, one of the things that Titan's Quick View does is it gives you a niche score, and they have their whole algorithm right here that you can read up on. But basically, this really does help when I'm trying to validate a niche and seeing if it's something that's profitable and something that's worth my time. And then it's also going to give you the total exact results. So notice 3,392 on Amazon. It just says over 3,000. So when you're doing deep dive research and you're trying to find all this data, it's really important to have the actual precise number and not just a rounded number like what Amazon gives you. It also gives you the average bestsellers ranks. So right here it says 8,000. So obviously with KDP, the lower the BSR, the better. The average reviews on the books, and then the average price per book that's listed. And then another thing they give you is this independently published, and 16 just means how many books are KDP books that are ranking for this specific keyword in their title. So this basically tells us if there's already KDP publishers that are publishing in this niche. Now, if you've been watching my videos, then you know I only look for 3 specific things when it comes to validating a niche and seeing if it's something that's profitable and something that's going to be worth my time. And the first one is going to be with the search results. So the search results that I look for is always going to be about 1,000 or less, because this is going to tell me that the competition is not so competitive. Number 2, I'm looking for 3 or more KDP books that all have a BSR or a bestsellers rank of 300,000 or below, because this is going to tell me that these books are already selling, which means that there's some type of demand here for this niche. And then number 3 is the niche score. So that score that we saw from Titan's Quick View, that score I'm looking for is 50 and higher. So going back to the search results, we see over 3,000 total results. So for me, I know that this is a little bit too competitive. I'm really looking for only about 1,000 or less. And the thing is with Amazon KDP, when you're doing niche research, you're going to run into this issue a lot. And the fact is this is where a lot of people just stop, is when they're going through this process and then they see search results of over 3,000 and they don't look further into the niche. They think it's too competitive and they don't have a shot. They don't have a chance at getting their book ranked so customers can see it and hopefully buy it. But the thing is, when you run into this issue, all you really have to do, it's pretty simple, is something called niching down or finding a sub niche. So it basically means finding a niche within this niche. So if I simply just go to the Amazon search bar right here and I click on it, it's going to bring up a few more suggestions. So this is the process of finding a sub niche. So as you can see, the how to draw books for kids. Well, we niche down a little bit more. This one is for kids 6 to 8. We have kids 8 to 12, 4 to 6, 3 to 5. I mean, you have some that are spiral bound, which we can't do with KDP. You have 10 to 12, you have 6 to 8 girls, you have ages 8 to 12 girls. So this is the process of niching down. All you would have to do is click on it and see what the information comes up with. And you can find something that is less than 3,000 results, something that's closer to that 1,000 that I'm looking for. And I actually did the research for you, so you don't got to worry about that for this niche. I'm going to show you that in a bit, but let's go ahead and go through this broad general niche so I can show you the types of books that are available and also just go through the information with you. So first of all, we see niche score of 74. In my experience, this is extremely high. There's only a few times that I've seen even over 80. We see the average bestsellers rank of 8,494. So this is a really, really good BSR on average for these books on the first page. Because if I add that BSR onto BookBird's sales calculator here, that's 29 sales per day, 870 sales per month. And I've added in the info for the royalty calculator, and that's $100 a day and over $3,000 per month on average that these books are making. And so this is a very lucrative niche. You can see the low is way better, 97. The high is 30,000. 30,000 BSR is still very lucrative. The average reviews, we have 3,417, and the average price is $9.59. Now, if you remember, the second thing that I look for is going to be 3 or more KDP books that all have a BSR or a bestsellers rank of 300,000 or below. So how I do that process is I go row by row, and I'll start with this one, and I'll look at this box, and I'll look at this publisher section right here, and if it says independently published, and if it does, it tells me that this is a KDP book. So this is a book that I want to look at, and now I want to look at the bestsellers rank. And so for this one, we see a ranking of 97. So this is a very lucrative book. So this is one book that satisfies that requirement. So I'm just going to look for 2 more. The book right next to it, we can see independently published with a BSR of 793. So this is book number 2. And then this one, independently published with a book rank of 952. So this is book number 3. So right here, these 3 books satisfies that second thing that I'm looking for, the demand portion of my niche research. And it tells me that these books are selling well, but you know what? I'm gonna look through the rest of this and let's see how many books are selling well. So the book right next to it under publisher, you notice that it doesn't say independently published. So when I run into this, I simply just move to the next. Same thing, move to the next, because it's not a KDP book. It's not something that I'm going to compete with. It's not something that I'm going to replicate. It's not something that I'm going to take inspiration from. It's not something that I'm going to do anything with, because these publishers, we don't know what they have access to. So I'm not really going to take these publishers into consideration. I'm really just looking for independently published KDP books. This one right here, book rank of 2,149. This book right here, 2,398. This one has a BSR of 3,000. This one is 6,000. This one is 7,000. 5,000, 9,000, 9,000. So we see there's so many books here that are selling really, really well. So I know as a fact that this niche is very lucrative, but I want to work on the search results. I want to get this lower. And so I've actually done that for you, like I said. So let me show you what I found. So the niche that I found is the how to draw activity book for kids. As you can see, the total results is a lot better. It's 1,967. Now, I know it is closer to 2,000 than it is to 1,000. However, when I see a 1 right here, it's still good enough for me, which means that the competition, although it's a little bit competitive here, I still have a chance at getting my book ranked here on the first page of this keyword. And so I'm going to go for this one because the niche score is 68. I see similar average BSRs, similar reviews, similar price. Everything's very similar, less independently published books in here. So this is all telling me that the demand is still about the same, but the competition is a lot lower. So this is going to be the niche that I look into and that I probably enter if I want to create this type of book. We can see a lot of the same books here. This book right here, we saw this before, BSR 952. This one with the bestsellers badge, BSR of 793. This one right here, BSR of 6,000. And then this book right here, a BSR of 2,398. So these books are selling very, very well. Let's look at a couple of these books to take a deeper dive into the interiors of this book. Now, if we take a look at this book right here, we see a BSR of 97. This is extremely, extremely low. It has the #1 bestsellers badge right here. And it wasn't published that long ago, just last year. We can see a book price of $10.90. And it is your typical 8.5 by 11 inch book. This one has 110 pages. Now, before we look into the sample, let's go ahead and look at this graph right here. So I always like looking at this BSR graph from Self-Publishing Titans because it tells me how well the book is doing. So this one's for the past 30 days. We can see the downward trend, which is good because the way this graph works is if you see the line going down, that means your BSR is improving. Now this is for the past 90 days. Let's go back 6 months. You can see where it wasn't performing as well versus where it was doing very, very well in these areas right here. So this one is in May, this one is in July. So it seems like it does very well in the summer months. Here's the cover right here. And then if we go look for one of the actual interiors, so you have your image right here. And then it is actually just cut up into sections. And this is where the user can just practice each section until they can learn to draw the full image. This one is different types of animals. And this is really just the type of book it is. Now, this is actually a pretty simple interior to make with a program like Adobe Illustrator. Now, if we go down, look at the A+ content. So this is the section where the publisher can add more information about their book here. They can add more pictures, more images, and do some other things here that you can't really do with that sample feature on Amazon. And then this part right here is actually my favorite part of A+ content, where you can link your other books for your customers to see. And so this is a great way to be able to cross-sell potential customers. And this is something that I highly recommend everyone to implement because it's free to do. So if you want to learn how to create A+ content, how to put this specific module on your listings, as well as how to learn to do this, go ahead and click somewhere around the video right now. I'll leave a card up. Now, this book has a bestsellers rank that's insane. And I've added in the information for the royalty calculator. And we're going to see almost $3,000 per day, over $85,000 per month from just this one book alone. Now, if we take a look at this book, the reason I want to show you this book is because it was just published this year, very recent. It has a higher price at $12.57, but the BSR is still very excellent at 812, we can see that it has a 4.4 out of 5 rating. And your typical things with this book, 8.5 by 11 inches, 100 plus pages. We look at the BSR graph. Let's just go back here. You can see very similar to the previous book. It's just doing very, very well, and it's maintaining that pace. Now here's the actual interior of the book. As you can see, very similar to the previous book. You have, for example, this squirrel, and then they have images here that are sections of the squirrel. So it just gives that user time to practice sections of the squirrel until they can draw the full image. So we have a banana, you have cupcakes, it's very similar to the previous book. This is really the type of genre that this niche is. So like I said, it's actually pretty simple to create these images. It may look hard, but with a program like Adobe Illustrator, you can actually delete parts of the image to create these sections. So with this book, we can see it's still performing very, very well, almost $1,000 a day, over $27,000 per month, once again, from one book that was just released this year. Now, I'm not saying that you're gonna make this type of income. I'm simply showing you what's possible. But what really makes this niche shine is that it's actually pretty simple to create this interior. However, it does take a bit of time. But the very fact that it takes a bit of time is the reason why many publishers shy away from this niche. But that's where you can step in and take advantage if you're willing to put in the little bit of effort to create this type of book. So if you want to learn how to create this Learn to Draw book for kids, then let me know down below by leaving a comment. Now, if you're looking for more KDP resources, as always, check my Gumroad shop. The link is down below. If you have any questions, also let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, as well as follow me on all my socials at JeffSetLife. With that being said, thanks for watching. Bye for now.